All right, it's Parallel Frequencies, Just Blane and Coco. Yeah, we got some costumes on today, and we'll get to that. I got to show you this, though, Coco, right off the bat. Look what happened over the weekend. I thought it was a slow weekend for my social media, and, I'm scrolling. I'm like, it's the holidays. And then, pow, right here, we get this follow. Do you see this?
That's big. That's huge.
Joe Bob Briggs official hit the follow on Just Blane's World. You know what? I can quit now. I'm done.
Yeah.
I quit.
Okay. Not so fast. Not so fast. You've got your bucket list to follow people and all that, but I have a list too. And this is pretty exciting. I'll be honest, it's pretty exciting, but I've got my list of favorite peoples in the celebrity world, and I feel like I'll know.
I'm super excited just to be on his radar. He's been an inspiration. He's been a mentor to me without knowing it. I guarantee I'm going to put this out in the atmosphere right now. We will talk to him soon. Maybe we'll both dress as something like this crazy. I don't know. Maybe me and Joe Bob both.
Manifest it. Spells created, sent.
There it is. Just Blane and Coco, Parallel Frequencies. That's what we're rolling with. We're still going with that. We haven't even officially launched yet, but I think we have. I think we've been going for like a month now and just didn't even realize it.
We're just having fun.
Just
Obviously.
having fun. Yeah. I mean, look at us. I did watch this. I watched this recently, but I did hit another Christmas movie over the holiday, over the weekend. It's going to be controversial, but I watched Die Hard, and that's a Christmas movie.
Yes. I've heard both. I've heard definitely not a Christmas movie. I've heard absolutely it's a Christmas movie. I've been hearing this debate for years, and I'm going to get some hate right now. I'm going to get some people commenting, and they're going to be mad at me, and I might deserve it. And I'm going to say, I have never seen Die Hard.
Oh, wow. You could probably get worse hate. I mean, at least you've never seen it.
Yeah.
You could always go watch it and then get in on that hate when you say it is or isn't a Christmas movie. We could argue that.
Then I can have one side or the other of that argument. Because right now I'm like, either or, I don't care, whichever, it's fine.
Let me take the hate with what I'm about to say, okay?
Okay.
Because I've got a controversial statement. I'm going to make these throughout this show today. This is going to be the show that gets us canceled. I said that a while ago. I said if we did this movie that we're going to do today, we'll get canceled. But I'm going to make another statement right here. Die Hard is a Christmas movie, and It's a Wonderful Life is not a Christmas movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a Wonderful Life has nothing to do with Christmas other than it's set in Christmas. If you watch that movie back, that movie could have been done at any time of the year. So that is one of the most revered holiday Christmas movies out there, and it's not a Christmas movie.
Okay. I could see it.
Watch it again. Watch
Valentine's
it.
Day, New Year's.
Watch it again. You can watch that movie, and you take Christmas out of there. Sure, he goes around, Jimmy Stewart runs around saying, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Didn't matter. That didn't have anything to do with the plot of the movie. So people out there saying Die Hard's not a Christmas movie, well, then It's a Wonderful Life ain't either. Okay?
Good point. I see where you're going with that. And it does kind of remind me of the whole Indiana Jones and the oh my gosh, I'm blanking. The first Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Where
Temple of Doom or whatever it was.
The debate is the movie actually doesn't require Indiana Jones to be in it for the outcome to change.
There you go.
And that debate, and I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that hurts, but that's true. Everything that happened would have happened without Indiana Jones' influence at all in that whole movie. So,
you know what else I caught over the weekend that I've been wanting to see? It finally showed up on HBO Max. I didn't have to go bootleg it or pay the $25 to rent it nowadays, whatever it is. I got a chance to see this bad boy right here. One battle after another. I don't know if you've heard about this one. Leo's in it. I never watched the trailer for it. I didn't even go see the trailer. I didn't look at anything about this movie. I really didn't know anything about it and thought it was maybe a Western where they just battle it out, I caught it over the weekend. And I got to say, it was incredible. I have not sat down. It's long. It's almost 3 hours long. And I haven't watched a movie that long in one sitting in a long, long time. And it blew me away. This is going to be your Oscar winner. It should be.
Mm-hmm.
Leo probably should win another one. Even supporting actors in there. There's quite a few of them that could get awards for this movie. Go watch it. Go check that bad boy out, because Paul, the Paul they're talking about, that's Paul Wes Anderson. He's the director.
Mm-hmm.
And blew away my expectations. Once again, like I said, I didn't really have any. I didn't go in. I love Leo. Leo's probably my favorite actor.
Of course.
And
sure. Yep.
Can't go wrong with that. I think he bit my style a little bit. Did you see you've seen me out in public. Did you see the red and the beanie and the sunglasses? Here, the red plaid, the beanie and the sunglasses on. That's me.
Yeah. Little bit of a cool guy, I don't care kind of vibe. I think in that movie, it's coming across hot mess. A little bit different than it reminded me of Taken, right? Liam Neeson, the kind of like story plot. But it seems like this one is going to be a lot more daughter empowered than daughter getting rescued.
I'm not going to give you spoilers, but let's just say this is a lot of layers. There are a lot of layers in this movie.
I'm in.
Nicely threaded together. It doesn't feel like it's almost 3 hours, but like he said, like Leo said in the trailer there, you don't get to take a breath. Like, you watching this thing, you're like, whoa, man, it's wild. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Like I said, Oscar winners, all that good stuff.
The one to watch. Okay, for my holiday season, for my winter's nap, when I'm home in my PJs sipping tea, that's going to be on my list.
Speaking of sipping tea, what'd you guys do over the weekend? Did you have your winter solstice, your retreat?
We had the most amazing winter solstice reset. My girls, Cambria Davis, Women Wealth and Woo, Danielle Zimmerman at The Collective, and Jamie, you guys know, is my co-host on Practically Magic, Rising Moon Minerals. We all four got together about 6 weeks ago and started planning this thing. And it felt kind of like getting ready for a show. If anyone's ever, gotten ready for a play or something, I've done enough plays in my life that it felt kind of like that. I was rehearsing.
Yeah.
I was doing a storytelling, a drum circle, and a guided meditation, intention setting for winter solstice, and taught a little bit about Yule traditions. So that was a blast. Love that. And the whole evening went off just exactly. All the attention to detail we gave it just made it absolutely chef's kiss. It was a beautiful, magical event. And now we are on the upside of the winter solstice. So guess what?
Ooh.
In a couple of days, the light will already have returned 1 minute longer.
I don't think I saw the light at all for the last 3 or 4 days. I think it was just pitch dark out here. I know that my wife went to this retreat. Lindsay went to the retreat.
Yeah, how did she
Came
like
home
it?
fresh, came home looking good. Like,
Oh, God.
I was, a hot mess, as we already established earlier. I'm unraveled. Maybe I need something like this, a solstice retreat. Like
sound healing, breath work, even just a nice, go find your local Reiki energy healer that you resonate with, because it can do wonders for you.
How do you find one of those? You just search for it right there in your area? What do you do? What's going on?
Yeah, pretty much. There is a database. I can't remember if I'm on it anymore, but the International Reiki Training Center has a database on their website that they keep track of everybody certified with the Usui Holy Fire Reiki. And so that's one way to do it. But yeah, I would think energy healing, Google that in and find someone that you trust. And it's great.
I love that. We'll make sure we get that in the notes here. People pick up. If not, run it back 30 seconds and listen to that again. You can hit that button right in the bottom left. I know where it is.
And I'm always available as well. Prism Healing, I can do it distance or in person. So if you're local or if you want to do it over Zoom, I'm available.
I love that. So the reason I probably need a reset, I was at home wrangling the kids. And
that's right.
When you wrangle kids around the holidays and they know it's getting closer, the wrangling's a whole lot harder. I mean, am I right? Like, it is.
Oh my gosh. Every teacher knows, every nurse knows that holidays and full moon cycles, you feel the energy. And so kids are an amazing gauge, a barometer, if you will, of like, what is the
Oh, yeah.
energy doing in the universe right now? Because kids get hyped up.
They get so, and they were hyped up like they'd eaten sugar for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that didn't happen. I had to pull out the tricks though, because I don't know. Do you have an elf on a shelf?
We ban and protect our home and ward it from all fake creatures, and that includes elves and elves. So there's not one allowed in our house.
So wait a minute. So elves are fake creatures, or they're just the elf on the shelf is a fake creature? Is that what you're saying?
Fae, F-A-E, fae folk, fae creatures.
Okay.
So, yeah, I do have a house gnome, which is a little bit different. The house gnome lives in our house all year round, and it's kind of like a representation of the spirit of the house. And so our house gnome is there all year. We give it little offerings and trinkets and things when we have something to offer. And in exchange, the gnome takes care of us, gives us good luck, that sort of thing. That's from the ancient traditions of the gnomes. But yeah, elves are a little different. Elves are mischievous. Elves are tricky.
They are.
Right?
And I don't know where the elf on the shelf is, because I think he did get mischievous and run away. Maybe he's at the wrong house. So I had to come up with something else. And to keep the kids in check around here, I had Snoop on a stoop, taking a look at him over the weekend and keeping him on,
Yeah.
But that's what I had with Snoop on a stoop. And it worked pretty well. He keeps them in check. He kept the kids in check over the weekend.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but I don't think the Fae people have anything wrong with Snoop on a stoop.
No, actually, Snoop is a little Fae-like himself. Don't you kind of get that vibe? I don't know if he's entirely human. I think he may be a mythical creature a little bit.
Like a smoke cloud. Just
he just poof disappears in a cloud of mysterious smoke.
But yeah, that's my nice little Christmas Snoop on a stoop, my little action figure of Snoop, I guess. Look at him. He looks good.
Yeah. Well, I did find, speaking of action figures, we do have, I've had these since I was a teenager. I'm sad to say I had a whole set of the whole main characters of the movie, but this is all that is left after my kids got a hold of them.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yukon Cornelius and Herbie.
I love it. The real hero of Rudolph, Yukon Cornelius.
That's right.
And the one that tried to unionize the North Pole by becoming a dentist. I'll get into that. I think it is time now to talk about our movie. This is going to be the one that gets us canceled. We're talking about the classic, the one that makes you feel warm inside, even though they're made of felt and pipe cleaners. The 1964 Rankin-Bass stop-motion masterpiece, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You know that one. It's the one that Burl Ives sings like your grandpa after 2 eggnogs. You got Hermie, a dentist elf with career goals, and a reindeer whose nose glows like a radioactive cherry. This thing's been running every year since LBJ was in office. That's crazy.
Classic.
So Rudolph, though, himself didn't come around until 1939 when we had a pamphlet basically come out of him to promote some stuff. So who was leading Santa's sleigh before 1939? Was he just flying blind every night or what?
I memean, there just wasn't bad weather. That wasn't a thing. So I guess they were fine on those other nights.
That makes way more sense to me. That we didn't need it. There was no global warming hadn't come up. We hadn't got any of that stuff going on yet, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah,
when
the inversion is pretty bad. So got to have Rudolph for that.
Back when the world was pure, and then 1939 hit, and they were like, oh, got to have some lights in the sky, got to have a red nose. So they came up with Rudolph, but the movie, the Rankin-Bass movie here, didn't come out till 1964.
Yeah, and imagine those stop-action movies back then, all of the work that they had to put in. They didn't have the technology we have now to kind of shortcut some of those transitions or smooth out some of those, between frames. And I love, there's some guys on social media that have become popular that they can interact, they can do impressions of stop action, and it looks so realistic. Like my dad was watching the other one, Santa Claus Comes to Town. stop action,
Yes.
movie. And I was kind of laughing at it because it isn't quite the quality that Rudolph is. And the mouth movements were so not in sync with what they were talking about. It was like,
Oh yeah. You
kind of
change
like
the
an old
music and
Godzilla
stuff.
movie.
That's what I'm gonna say. You change the music stuff, this turns into a horror movie real quick. It's scary. It's terrifying. I think one of the reasons why it does look like that, where it's jerky and even more stop motiony than stop motion itself, is because Rankin-Bass, when they put this bad boy together, tried to save some money. I mean, they didn't have much money.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know how much it cost to put stop motion together. It's expensive now. It's probably expensive back then.
Yeah.
So what they did, instead of doing one scene and then move the puppet, they did 2 frames before they moved the puppet instead of 1 frame. So it makes it that little jerky motion.
Choppy. Yeah.
It gives it that Rankin-Bass look, which basically they become the Marvel Cinematic Universe of the Christmas specials, because they had Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus is coming to town, like you mentioned, and about 47 other stop motion fever dreams.
Yep.
That's why Santa looks like Play-Doh in most of our childhood memories, because we watched these shows right here.
Right.
We saw this. This it really is. So, but I love the
classic
puppets. And the puppets themselves were made in Japan, and they were only about 4 to 8 inches tall, which is even wilder to me.
Could have been about this size.
That might. Do you have one? Because I think somebody did find these in an attic not that long ago, and they went to auction or something. And I don't know if there's a anonymous buyer out there, or maybe they're at NBC Rockefeller now. But they found these puppets and redid them because they were in rough shape. One of the ladies that worked at Rankin-Bass back in the 60s tucked them away in her attic. So that was wild too. I love that. Yeah.
That would be amazing to find. I wouldn't probably pay a lot of money myself for them, but I do appreciate the antiquity of having the original puppets from the movie.
Now show me that Yukon Cornelius again, because I want to see what kind of weapon does he have. Does he have a gun or a knife on him?
This one's a knife.
Well, in the show, it's a gun. He asked for gunpowder specifically, and around somewhere in the 1990s, mid to late 90s, all toys that came out from this movie afterwards replaced that gun with a knife. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I bought these when I was a teenager, so it was probably the 2000s, but it was probably after 2000. But yeah, so that makes sense. But I think about, toys and the debate between guns and not guns and historically accurate. We have, my kids have some pistols that are kind of from the Wild West toys that they play with and stuff. And I mean, we don't think anything of it when we see a movie from the 50s and there's little boys running around going, and now we're a little bit
and all that.
We're a little bit traumatized as a country when it comes to gun safety. So I think there's a little different vibe from the generations that have come from that. And we're like, maybe not gun toys. Maybe not.
No, I get it. Then again, you got games like Call of Duty and everything else out there, and people bragging about the KD. So why can't we put a gun on Yukon Cornelius?
Yeah, probably more historically accurate to have a gun, for sure.
Probably. Tell me, do you remember the first time you saw this movie?
I would not even be able to recall the first time, because it was an absolute staple in our household from before I can remember. And we had the VHS, and it had the little thing that started in the beginning, the 80s VHS type thing, where there was the F and the H and the E. I don't remember what came up. It was like, this is like from before I could read. So I can just see it in my mind as to what I'm recalling, that little warped sound that came up in the beginning, because our VHS was probably just a little worn from watching it so much. But yeah, I couldn't even possibly tell you the very first time I watched it. We've watched it every year. I even just put it in the DVD player for my kids today, and we could probably find it streaming somewhere, but I'm like, We have it right here. I'll just pop it in the good old DVD player, the Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray. I think I even own it on Amazon Prime. I've got multiple copies of this movie. But you know what's different is probably each copy of the movie, because at different times over the years, certain parts of this movie have been taken out. They've been replaced. They've been dubbed over. They've been put back in. They got even sponsored at one time. Like General Electric was promoting themselves within this. So I don't mind having multiple copies because you never really know which one you got. Like, seriously, I think last year they might have finally put 2024. I think NBC got it back last year. And on Peacock, they put the unedited original, the way it was, 1964 version. So you may have 8 copies and 8 different versions of this movie, which is wild.
Interesting. Yeah, it would be interesting to do a comparison and see what version that I have on the DVD versus what's out there streaming now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is one of those that I can't pinpoint the first time I saw it either. I just know I've seen it 100 dozen times and remember every part of it. You know, I can't be like, oh, I watched it when I was 4 years old. No, it's been on at the house every year, wherever I was. You know, it's a staple. It's here.
But let me ask you this, because you can't always recall memories and your consciousness bring up exactly the moment you saw it first. But I want to know, what does young Blane go back to when you early days of watching it? What feelings come up when you watched it? What did you feel?
Oh, I knew it was Christmas time. Like, this was one that set it off for me. This was before Christmas Vacation, probably as an adult, you know? So this was my reset. It was the all right, baby Blaine's in Christmas mode now. Santa's coming soon. You know, it's going to get cold. I loved it. And I think they used to show it like December 1st every year or on Thanksgiving weekend or somewhere in there. So it did flip that switch for a young Blane. And then to me, I think the noise that his nose makes is always going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's because it's annoying as hell, as my wife would say. She hates that noise. She won't watch it. She won't watch Rudolph because of that noise. No,
I get it.
I think that noise and Yukon Cornelius and being a fan of the Abominable Bumble, you know, like I loved every aspect, and the misfit toys. Who didn't feel like a misfit at some point in their life, you know?
Absolutely.
So,
oh my gosh. Let's get into it, because there's a lot of stuff about those misfit toys. I have some thoughts. When you talked about kind of a fever dream, that's what I think of, because as an adult, I look back on it and go, yeah, that's all a little weird. But I think even as a kid, I remember watching it and going, why is there a flying lion that is in charge or king of the misfit toys? Why? What's the connection there? I'm not sure I see it. I'm not sure I understand it. But as a kid, you kind of throw that stuff to the side and you kind of go, this is fun. What a fun idea to have a lion that flies. Why not? Give all the animals wings. Give me wings. I want everybody to have wings. It's awesome.
Yeah, they all get wings at the end, don't they? Most
sure.
of them?
Some people are flying.
Actually, that's true. And that scene at the end where they do get stuff was not in the original that came out. It was after a bunch of fan hate mail. Let's say this was before, you know, Twitter. You could go on there and raise hell on Twitter. They had to write these letters and mail them in and say, hey, what happened to the misfits? They didn't even write them in the original. So they added a scene.
We need this story to come full circle, right? We need to see that those misfit toys are taken care of and that they're not actually misfits and they're loved, right?
Exactly. But they left that out. But literally, they got piles of mail from people who were mad. They were like, you got to take care of the misfits. And they get the presents at the end. Added the scene the next year. I think it ran 1 year without that scene.
Can you imagine it without it? I can't. I think that would be ridiculous. You'd be like, wait, so they promised to go get the misfit toys, didn't they? What happened?
And then abandoning them, you know? Like,
we never got to see that. That would be incredible.
And it's hard for us. We can't imagine not seeing that scene because we've seen this scene now. We know it exists.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that would have left a little hole in your heart and been like, what the hell, Rankin-Bass?
Yeah.
I'm a misfit. Where's my, so,
Yeah.
So yeah, they added that thing later. I do love the Misfits.
Talking about the Misfit toys, I have to bring up the doll because I was watching, a bunch of things about this doll, and I remembered actually having that thought as a kid that, you have this boat that doesn't float, and you have this choo-choo train with square wheels, and everybody has a little bit of something that's not quite right, and then you have this doll, and she's like, I'm a doll named Sue, or and you go. I remember thinking as a kid, is it her name? Is it because dolls are called something else and she's called Sue? Is it not right or something? What's with this doll? And somebody asked Arthur Rankin, the co-created the movie, what's up with the doll? Why is she there on the island of Misfit Toys? And his answer was, well, you can't always see what's wrong because she's clinically depressed.
Oh. Now see, who doesn't have a little depression during the holidays,
She's representing those of us who just, you can't always see everything that's going on under the surface. And do we love her more for that? I think we do.
But that's awesome, though, because a lot of this characters and a lot of other stuff going on here did have a backstory. They just didn't ever get to it.
Yeah.
Yukon Cornelius is actually looking for the peppermint mines. That's why he flips his axe up, it hits the ground, and he licks it. He's not tasting silver and gold. That's peppermint is what he's looking for. And that's why he says, nothing here. So we don't know about a lot of this stuff going on because they didn't put the backstory in. I do think that some of the later on, when I mentioned 47 other basically stop motion animations in here, they do start talking about some of this backstory, but it didn't happen in the original. So what do you got there? Yukon Cornelius again? I love that one.
Yeah, my cousin just got a new dog this last year, and he named him Yukon, and he kind of has red curly hair. I mean, it's a little like a golden doodle, so it's a little golden, but kind of a reddish, hue to it. And so he came to visit. We were like, "Oh, that's so cool! Did you name him after Yukon Cornelius?" And no joke, my cousin was like, "Who's that? I don't know. I don't know who that is."
Disappointing. That is disappointing.
I'm like, it's too perfect. Are you serious? You did not name him after Yukon Cornelius? So we had to explain who that is. But he was naming him after a town in Idaho. So, oh well.
Here I am thinking Rudolph's got a bigger cultural impact.
Yeah.
That could at least touch somebody in Idaho. But, man, I can't believe that.
Not this time, but it's perfect. And now I've challenged him to go watch it. I'm like, your dog is named after Yukon Cornelius. You just don't know it. And you're going to go watch it and you're going to see what I mean. So it's all fine. But I love the overall theme that this movie presents, especially with the Misfit toys, but with Rudolph himself. And I think going back to what is the feeling we had when watching it, I absolutely related to the feeling of Rudolph disappointing his dad and his dad wanting to hide the nose. And I may have been a very ultra sensitive kid. I don't know if anyone else out there was as sensitive as me or if you can relate. But I remember the scene in the beginning when, first of all, Santa, what a jerk, is like, you better cover that up or fix that. That is a mistake if I've ever seen one. His nose glows red. Do something about this. It's an embarrassment, right? So Donder is over there trying to tell his son to like cover it up. You just need to fit in. There's obviously something wrong with you. And my little sensitive young Courtney Coco self, it was like, how awful. He has this beautiful nose that glows that he should be proud of and he should love about himself. And everybody's telling him to hide it and not be himself. And same thing with Herbie and being a dentist. You're like, there's got to be a reason for a dentist to be in the North Pole. Can we not accept him for who he is?
Yeah. I got to talk about this because every year somebody writes an article saying Rudolph promotes bullying. It's a reindeer story, not a TED Talk. If you're looking for moral perfection, maybe don't start with a show where the hero's nose is basically a biological flashlight.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I
don't do
think
it that way.
promotes
So,
bullying. I think it shows how awful bullying can be, that you could be
it
bullied by your
does.
own dad and you can still come out on top in the end and show that you are worth something and you were meant to be exactly who you are for a reason. And I think that's a
Yeah.
beautiful message for anybody to hear, right?
It is, absolutely. And Rudolph's dad, by the way, we find out, Donner, so it's Rudolph. Donner is his last name, I guess. He sired Rudolph.
Yeah. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's so what is Donner and Donder? What is...
Yeah, let's talk about that Donner versus Donder debate. I've always wondered, because in the original poem, where the deer are actually named for the first time, came out in 1823, the night before Christmas, and it was originally Donder, which means thunder in Dutch, right? And it was changed later. So in the original poem, it was Donder and Bliksem.
Okay.
So a little bit different. And then later it was changed to Donner, which is German for thunder. And then we have 1844, the poem was changed. We see the first time that it was adapted and changed into Donner. And then 1949, the Rudolph song came out.
Mm-hmm.
So then
That's
it was
Gene Autry, the Gene Autry track. That's the one that really put this thing on the map, I believe.
Right.
It, like we already said, it'd been around 1939. 1823, we got you said that piece of work there.
I mean, poem where they were given names. So it's interesting because I've heard people get kind of uppity about it, like really just be like, hey, actually it's Donder. And I've done that myself. I've been like, did you know that it was originally Donder? Isn't that interesting? Because we always say Donner when we sing the songs and stuff, right? But I kind of feel like because it was changed and adapted, and because it actually means the same thing in German and Dutch, Donder in Dutch, Donner in German means the same thing. I kind of feel like you can claim it as both. I don't think there is a right or a wrong way to do it. So let's release all obligation we have for saying it one way or the other. It's both. It's all the things.
At least it's reindeer, and it's not the Icelandic Yule lads. You know, those guys, they're up to no good all the time. Like,
they should make a claymation movie about the Yule lads. I would pay to see that in the theater. That would be amazing.
You know, the only people that could do that would be A24 and Guillermo del Toro. I think that'd be the best. That'd be a terrifying movie, would it not?
Amazing. I love that idea. I think they'd be perfect for it.
I'd love to see that.
It would be amazing. Well,
what else you got to say? Yeah, go ahead.
I will say, and maybe this is my final thought. We'll see. But my one thing to say about going back to Donner being his dad, Rudolph's dad, and happy to see that in the end he realizes he was wrong and he was sorry about how he treated Rudolph. All good things. I never loved, even as a little kid, that the female deer takes sort of a backseat. You know, the does, and they're over there just kind of like being those big eyelashes batting, you know, ooh. Come to find out, did you know that the male reindeer lose their antlers in the wintertime?
Oh,
guess which reindeer keep their antlers through the winter?
Female.
So in all reality, if we're talking about Santa's reindeer, and I told my kids this, all those names that you hear listed off in the Night Before Christmas poem, in the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer song, all those songs, you can just go ahead and rewrite that in your head as all female, which changes this movie considerably. I mean, then it's not Donner the dad, it's Donner the mom.
That's true. So now we're going to get people all up in arms about this now, huh? You're going to get us hate mail because we...
Fight me about it. This is one I'm sticking in.
I love that take right there. I guess this will be my final take on this. And this probably what gets me canceled. Not you.
It's getting us canceled. All of it.
Not you, but just me at least. But let me tell you something they don't teach you in elf school, all right?
All right.
You think this Rudolph story is just cute and all. No, wrong. It is dripping with subversive undertones. Let me get into them. First off, we got an entire workforce of elves cranking out toys for free.
Yep.
Free. No wages, no benefits, no dental plan, except for Hermie, who's trying to unionize, like I said earlier, the place by becoming a dentist. That's collectivism. Santa's running a command economy up there. He decides who gets the toys, who doesn't. If you're on the naughty list, guess what? Shit out of luck. You're basically in the gulag of Christmas. Don't even get me started on the Island of Misfit Toys. It's not a cute subplot. That's Siberia with candy canes.
Mm-hmm.
Toys that don't conform to the perfect capitalist ideal get shipped off to an island where they sit around waiting a 5-year rescue plan. Nah, that's not going to happen here on the Isle of Misfits. Meanwhile, you got Yukon Cornelius out there prospecting for silver and gold like the last capitalist holdout in a sea of red. Communism, right? So
Right.
Rudolph isn't just about a glowing nose. It's the struggle between individuality and the crushing weight of the North Pole. Next time you watch it, remember Santa's sleigh runs on redistribution, and the Bumble, he's just a proletariat uprising, ho, 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 comrades. It's a Russian propaganda film. That's what it is. No, I love this movie. I do.
I was going to say, after the rant, I'm like, listen, all of that, totally right. I'm not going to argue any of those points. And also, we love this movie and it's nostalgic and it's great. So
Love
this
this
is
movie.
a good example of two things can be true at the same time. We love it.
Very
And that-
much. Bert Ives, didn't even mention him, but as soon as I see him,
Yeah.
all these thoughts about what I just said with the Russia and, seeing it goes away. When I see Bert Ives and hear him as a snowman, over for me. Well, we do love this movie.
It's my favorite.
I've been holding that in for years. I almost went off on that rant years ago, but I've been holding that in for years. So I'm glad I finally got it off my
Your
chest.
mic. Yeah, you have the mic. You get to say the things. That's how it works around here.
Very much. We're going to do another show, I guess, before Christmas, probably. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. If we're not canceled. If we're not canceled from this one, we'll be
Who's
back.
coming
I
for
promise
us?
we'll be back. Yeah.
Where are
We'll
you
see
at?
you guys right here.